Hello, this is TurboRalph, back at it with this same elevator. It's not actually the same one. This is the best working design of all of them. The reason why is because it's got spam protection and it can detect if you call it to the same floor so it doesn't break it. I can show you that right now. So you call it to the same floor, you'd assume like, oh no, it'd break it, but you know, it's a detector and it will just reset it within 5 seconds. Didn't really time it, but yeah, it should go to different floors and you know, function as it should very nicely. Goes to any floor you call it to. Anyways, the reason why we have this tutorial is because you guys wanted one a very long time ago. Yeah, I postponed it, but it's like and you can see the spam protection is just this one block. So I can press the button on all these. It won't break it. Anyways, yeah. So for the tutorial, I'm going to use Litematica. I will try to post the links to a Litematica download that will give you the full thing. I recommend using the full thing, so we unsell it. Oh my gosh, I'm silly. So if we go back up here and select everything again, so we select that and we go, and we should be able to analyze area. You should need around that many droppers. There might be a few extra pieces. Redstone dust, all of those, an actual full stack of redstone blocks, and then the one glass is probably an extra part. Yeah, but all of the yellow wool, you will need these glazed terracotta, but it doesn't matter what color. You can have cyan wool, can be stone, anything, and light gray concrete can really be any block you want. Some of them not movable, but yeah. Light blue wool should be any block you want. Basically, they're just supposed to organize the redstone. I will have to teach you how this system works, just so that when you break it, you have to, you know, fix it. And when you fix things, you probably would want to know how to, you know, fix it. So I'm going to start with building. So you're going to go over, probably go up 6 blocks, and on the 7th one you do that, place 3. You'll get the Litematica anyways, because it's such a high effort build. So yeah, you just go up, and if you think you got something placed wrong, then you could just check my part. This right here is the part that is supposed to detect whether or not it is on the right floor or the same floor. And I will show you how to test this right after I finish building it. I need to get the placement mod. It allows you to place things around the corner. It helps a lot. We're placing these dots so that we can place comparators on top afterward. Okay. We can probably get rid of this stick. Anyways, how this system should work is we get an item frame, this, and then we can get like a sword or an arrow, doesn't matter. So we get one, and then we get another one. We'll break that for now. Okay, so now that we have 2 signals, we need to have this. Yeah. Okay. So we have this, we get our thing. You can test if it works to see if when these two are equal to each other, they should be on the same, and whenever you do that, it should change. It's basically an AND gate, but for 8 different signals on both sides. That's how it should work. Okay, so the next layer, we just got more things we gotta add. Of course, I probably don't even remember my own design because it's so big. We alternate this because it actually helps speed up instead of placing that, and it's also cheaper. And I can probably compact this computer by a lot. Now I don't because I don't want to. Okay, that's already placed. Cool, place. That. Okay. So, I don't expect you to follow this tutorial exactly, but just to prove, you know, I've built this in survival multiple times. It's not fun. It's just kind of like a thing. I believe the computer that I showed you on the first original video, that was like 10 months ago, should have had some things in it. I don't remember what it was, but it should have some particular parts that are similar to this, but do it differently or maybe more efficiently, but fast, like faster and everything. I'm basically commentating at this point. I'm building as fast as I can so that I can move on to the next layer and explain how you can repeat the process to make it as simple as possible, even though, look at it. Okay, so this right here, this part is called the red coder. Basically, its job is to take a 1 through 15 signal, or in this case a 1 through 8 signal, we just don't have the other sides, and it turns it into a torch tower. And if we use the torch tower instead of what I used before, which was one of these, and it went up like that, and it was super inefficient because you only went up like a block at once. This one goes up, I think it's, so 1, 2, 3 blocks, no, technically 2 blocks at a time, but it makes it way more efficient and helpful. Okay, so we're almost done with this layer. It should get thicker and thicker, but the in total computer has only 12 layers, I believe. It has 12 layers, so yeah. Okay. I'm still using all that stuff. Of course, I do that. Okay. So that should be this layer completed. Right after that, I'm gonna remove, double check. Those orange just means that it's not powered. You can see this was actually taken from right here, and it was already set at the first floor. So, like any discrepancy or this or that isn't powered, then it's just wrong apparently. But it wouldn't be my fault. It would be the machine's fault. Okay. So next layer, we have a bunch more stuff. So it has memory modules. The memory modules are, there should be 3. One that remembers the floor that it was on, one that remembers the floor it is on, and one that remembers the floor you just called it to. And they should, the one compares to the floor that it was on to the one that it was called to, should be the one that determines if it's good or not. I also came up with this system with one of my friends. If you've heard of him, his IGN is Choose42. But Oh, that's the glass part that is required. I did not need to do that. Okay, so got all those parts, got that. So the design here is that make sure these timings are the same no matter what, because the idea here was that the red coder doesn't act fast enough to where it can help red code basically. So if we go up like another layer and understand, this goes up here, but when it was powering, this would turn off and turn on really quick, but it would cause the door to break because the signal goes all the way through here, and it also waits for this to be on it. So if you called it to the same floor, this would change really quickly, and it would cause the door to just spam and totally break it. So that's a nice fix that we made up. So yeah, it just switches it in sync, so yeah. Anyways, so we got this system, we got this nice torch, and we got this. Don't know why we have all that. It's been forever since I played with this system. Okay, there should be another torch eventually over here, and it would invert that again. Okay. Okay, I think that's it. So go up one more. Now we actually get into some more of the important stuff. There will be a lot more patterns later on that will be very important for other reasons. But mainly right here we got our piston, and that's going to be a monostable so that it doesn't get activated twice. So it's probably, yeah, it's going to have this, and it's a monostable, and then it goes into this, and then this goes all the way up and activates all the flying machines and everything. Okay. So I'll have to describe the lines. Also, I do recommend learning a little bit of redstone so that when, in case this does break, you know how to fix it. But yeah, I did break the block. See? I knew I did. It always happens, especially with Litematica. That's why they have a highlight tool, which I still don't know how to use. Okay, so that's our chain for spam protection. So this goes to the detector and it will realize whether or not something's broken or not broken, and it'll be able to tell when it's on the same floor or not. Okay. The reason why this is at 3. Probably because this one takes 3 ticks and it's that, so it doesn't flicker again, which is very important. Sadly, I could not make a red coder because I was too lazy that fit within the bandwidth. As you can see, you have to come out here and make a stupid little loop, and it's just like one extra block. So I won't cheat and say it's like smaller than it is, but you know, very nice, very nice. Okay. So yeah, as this progresses more, we got that inverts again. We got that. That block has to be there. Okay. Okay, so more and more looking. Just a dust right here. this, that. I'm sorry if my voice is annoying. Okay, so page down, page up, page down. Gotta keep remembering. Okay, yeah, I don't think I've missed anything. Cool. Going, and it doesn't stop. It never stops, because it's awesome. I've designed many other elevators, and I have a few pretty cool concepts that I've come up with that a few of them work, and some of them, most of them don't, but I'll show you that after I finish building the first floor, which is only 6 blocks thick. We are around basically just over halfway done with the computer part, and then the rest is straightforward from there. What I recommend doing is, I don't remember how many blocks you have to go up, but this is for, I don't want to make it so ugly, this is for the spam protection, so it'll detect whenever flying machine makes it back, and it will fix the spam protection. And you can probably stop it right here. So we got this, go right here. I don't know how many blocks that was, but you can probably see my Y level. Oh, I thought that was a block. Scared me for a second. Okay. And then these should be able to be broken. And then so another question you guys might ask is, will I make like a taller version? I might, but I typically stick to 8 because of that. And my rule for elevators is within 6 block floor distance, so you can fit just this layer and then you have a layer underneath. It's technically 5 block. Well, yeah. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, 6 blocks. But it makes things nice and compact, as you saw maybe on like Jellevator. If you search it up, it's pretty fancy, but it has 16 block difference, and it's really, really stupid. It's why would you make the distance that large? Because like it's not modular because it's just that large. It's too big. Okay. I believe this is a memory module, and we have a lot of delay here, so this is the time it probably takes to compute, but I could probably make this like about twice as fast, sorry. Anyways. Okay, so we got that. Go in here. Okay, so, alright. This next layer we're going to get on the repeaters. Okay, always do that little check, because you will always see things you miss. Okay, next layer. I did not mean to do that. Okay. That block probably didn't matter anyways, but some people might get mad. I don't know. Why would I know? this is, yes, this right here is a memory module. As you can see, it's a loop in which it actually doesn't lose signal strength, so therefore it's an infinite loop. I'll show you right here. That's a pulse extender, and then we get this and that should be a module, memory module, and you can control what goes in the memory module and what comes out of it, depending on what's inside and what's out. So if we get, I guess we can use a piston right here. No, that one. Perfect. Okay, I'll use this system. There we go. And then we got this. Oh, wait, I'm silly. I'm dumb. Okay, yeah, we'll just do this and then have this and that. And basically, you'd be able to detect, like, with signal strength 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Using an item frame, you can see 7 and then 8, and then go back to 1. But it stays at 8 until you reset the memory. Now it's at 1. So that's why I like this system, because it's super easy to subtract with comparators to detect which floor you want to be on. But if I had another system where I could figure out how to add and subtract with comparators, then I can probably make a much larger elevator. It would have like a lot of floors instead of minimal of 8, which no one likes to just have 8 floors. They probably want to have more sometimes. And if anyone knows systems that might work, please let me know in the comment section. I'll try to reach out. You know, I'll reply. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, that's basically the rest of it. But then it adds to this. So okay. So I think I forgot to. If I forget something, you know, and I'm probably forgetting something right now. Anyways. Okay. I would show you a very nice base that I was designing and working on for quite a while on a server, but my friends blew it up. Very sad moments. But I can probably try retrieving the file by getting my friend to, you know, give it. And then I can show you in a single player world. It'd be pretty nice. Okay, so here's the start of our dropper monstrosity. So we got this, that, and then we go over here, up. There we go. So the green circuit should be up or down, so it will tell the signal up or down, you know, which direction. Quite simple, you know. These droppers don't really matter which direction they're facing. I typically like to point them up or down. Basically, it's just in whatever orientation you like. The reason why I prefer them think I've explained this before, but the way that it works is it fits within the same texture of the back of the piston. So yeah, does that. Okay, I got this screen circuit, so I'll show you how this tells back and forth of what floor it wants to go on, which is what floor it is on. Basically, if we have this, if we put this on that side, then we'll have like a dropper up here, and it will detect which floor, and it's a toggle, very simple. And yeah, I think we do it just like that. Then we have our activator pistons, and then that top. That's our detector cauldron. I don't know why that minecart's there, but it just is. And then, yeah. Cool. Anyways, we're gonna add this. This part is probably, this is part of our cauldron detector. And it should detect if we have cauldron. It does that. And then remove that for now. I don't know why. I'm mainly just messing around here. So we have that, and then we go down. Am I missing any blocks? Oh, okay. That's why that's flashing purple. And that's supposed to be there. Okay. Cool. And we got this. If I can see things. Thank you. Okay, so we have this. This is our, I thought that had a button on it. I don't know why this one does have a button on it. It's probably for testing purposes. Yeah. Yeah, that's what it is. So we have this, and this is our other detector. So we have our detector right here, and we have this observer. So, no, this is not our detector, sorry. This is our called floor memory cell. Okay, that's what it is. And I'm just about to show you the patterns that you need in order to set up your proper system. And most floors are the same, but I figured out different ways to get around different areas. And you probably want to start on the first floor. So we'll start building the machine on the first floor. It's probably best you leave the observers out and build the machine later, but for me, it really doesn't matter. I'm probably going to end up breaking it anyways, because it's very hard to not break it. Well, not when it's done, but it's very hard to break it when you're building it. No, it's very easy to break it when you're building it, that's why. It's my first tutorial, so I don't know what to do. But it'll be fine. I do play a little bit of Bedwars though. It's pretty nice. I'm okay at it. I did not mean to do that. It probably wants me to do that. Yeah, it does. Oh, what's this block? Okay. So I'll do that for now. just sent the signal and did all that stuff. Okie dokie. Okay, so here's the first start on this floor. I don't think it matters if that's on that and you have the honey in the middle. I think it's better if you have the slime in the middle, because just in case if you have like bad connection to a server or anything like that, you can use that. You can mainly just, so like you fall through here, now you're stuck, and your head's stuck in a honey block. Or if you fall all the way through, then you just end up underneath this part in the hole. It typically doesn't happen when you're on the first floor, so I recommend putting a slab over that so it doesn't make a lot of noise. And there's only a clock every single floor, but it's activated only when it's on the floor, so it's relatively quiet and lag friendly. This redstone block right here will block off this, and then you have this set to the floor that you want it to be on. So this is technically the start of the first floor, but it's also part. I don't think this needs, yeah, it doesn't need that, but it does need a redstone block, which it already has. Okay. So we have this and then that. And whenever we remove this block, it should power, but it's probably not required right now. Okay. And then come over here. Here's the cauldron, the culprit. Cauldron culprit. Be very careful not to spill water everywhere, because that would be bad. And you can see it instantly detected it, and then went through. This is the other part, the important part for detecting, well, not detecting, but for sending the elevator. This one should send it down, and these bottom three should send it up, because it powers these droppers individually, and it basically shows it the way, you know? Okay, and then so basically how these grid systems work is it detects up and down, and whenever it's going up, it has to catch it from one side and then the other side, depending whether up or down again. But whenever it's going down, it has to be caught from the bottom, up has to be caught from the top. And that's why the up and down system is important, this green line. And it should go up like this, repeat just like that, but I'm not sure. Does it? No, it doesn't. It goes up like that, and then goes up like that again. Yeah, that's how it works. It should be over here. Yeah, it goes up, and it repeats that cycle. Okay, so we are almost done with the first computer part, and then we can start the patterns and what to do with every floor. redstone. We got that. And then that. See how this stops it, where you have unmovable objects and it's a solid block, and then whenever it's powered it's unmovable. Quite useful, very useful. In fact, it's actually pretty awesome how useful it is. Okay, so this blue circuit right here, this is going to be the updating part for the system that basically opens and closes this system. That turns it on and off. Basically, got the piston, update it, open, and then you remove the block. But how it should work, we'll just have to wait because I don't want to get ahead of myself. Okay. That is a fake block. We caught the culprit, and that is also a fake block. Okay. So, got that. Apparently we used a block there. Quite useful. Interesting. Oh, can't forget that. Very important. Okay, so this next layer should, if you want to make it nice, you can basically do that to your droppers, aim them down so that you can only see the back end instead of the giant hole that just lies in front of it. You could also aim this part up, as long as it's not visible, you know. I like to use the system right here, but any of these blocks these can be almost any block except for terracotta on the machine, on the flying machine. And you can have those, that, and then we can do that, this, that, and that. Here, I got all this stuff. This stuff is detected by, so this is part of the torch tower, and it basically goes by and it tells the doors to open with another logic gate. And it rings the doorbell and sends a signal down saying that the elevator is here. This part is not always necessary because it's the ding-dong doorbell, but actually no, it's the most necessary part. My bad, did not mean to upset any of you, but yeah, so does that. So does all this stuff, does fancy, you know. That's what that was supposed to be. So that's part of the door. It's actually pretty nice to have a very fancy door. And you don't really need a block between here because droppers, but and they're updated from blocks away. But I mean, I just put one there because it helps people understand, like, oh yeah, it gets powered, but it really doesn't matter. And I did not mean to do that. But it also doesn't really matter because it's a two-tick. It'll just go forward and back. Okay, so I have all that stuff and all this, and then okay. We're almost done. Just another few floors, well, few layers, and then I get to bore you with more things. Okay, so do the check. So we go up one more, and we realize we're like, oh, why doesn't this work? But it's actually because we have to make it work. Yeah. Got this, and then I think when you go up, yeah, it does that. Okay, so now that I have that, and all these blocks are in place, you can go across and activate that. And that's designed to activate this whole thing. So now it's completely released and can fly away, so be very careful of that. And now we're going to put in different blocks. Okay, I think I'll show you a few patterns that you have to do for the elevator. This one isn't incredibly difficult, but it just allows for the signal strength to go all the way down to be memorized. So this one specifically is, I like to put the slab in the middle because it helps to differentiate where and which direction it's pointing. So we basically go to the top of this, where you can, if you have world edit and you're building some creative, which I don't know why you just wouldn't get the Schematica, because it's way easier with the Schematica. And then we do //stack, and yeah. Okay. Oh gosh, that's a lot. That doesn't matter. We can break it. So we do that. Here and eventually stop. Mainly when this stops right here. This is right. Yeah, this level is where it stops. So we get that. Yeah, right here. Yeah, I'm no, I can't time it. I think this has to be set. No, it has to be powered, so it's note 0, so it's just normal. And then, yeah, so it's that. And then this one has to be on note 3. So yeah, that's how those notes work. They work, they do stuff. The door basically works very nicely, does that. I think it's set on floor 2, or maybe even higher. Floor 5, that's what it was it? Maybe it is. Maybe it isn't. What, I don't know. No, floor 1, it's set on floor 1. Right, because I'm silly. I'm a goof. I'm darn goofed up. That's what it is. These signs aren't a requirement, but it actually really helps with idiots. Like, people just walk up and press random buttons, especially in your base, and they decide to place TNT in your elevator. And then you're very upset, and then go cry like a little baby. So, I recommend putting signs, because people don't get mad about not having signs. Yeah. Anyways. I have no clue how long I've been recording. Almost an hour. Pretty cool. Interesting. I'm probably gonna have to cut it into 2 separate videos, but unless I want to AFK posting this video overnight. Before I do that, I forgot to do the check. Yeah, I forgot a bunch of things. Well, not a bunch, but like a single thing. There we go. Okay, and then okay, so we go up 1. Now I get all the parts that we need. And we also get to set up the second array for the detector. And then here's some interesting part. This is the circuit for the door. It's supposed to emulate a button press, but I mean, it's not perfect, but it does work just as well as a button. So therefore it kind of is perfect. And I believe we get that. This doesn't have to be a chest. I actually prefer using a furnace here. And I will grab this furnace. Make sure you put 4 snowballs in it, because it will take a signal strength of 2, and snowballs are fairly cheap. Yeah. As you can probably see right here, signal strength of 2 as it shows right there in the corner. But you do this with that power, and then now it is a thing. You can put that on 2, and that. And you see that it turns on briefly, turns off briefly, very quickly. Okay. So that should also be a thing. One sad part, you see how this sticks out 1 block? It adds a block to the layer. It's probably a thing I will fix in the future, if I ever make a future design. I'm probably not going to do a tutorial like this again, because it's so big. And you can also start the secondary one, so you can see it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It goes 1, 2, every 6 blocks. And it's going to be the same for all of that stuff. And I'll just complete this entire floor, so you feel like what you need to do is that, and everything like that. You don't have to use this. You can use a stone button, wooden button, really any button you want. One interesting thing is how these arrows and stuff, they don't show up the proper way, but it doesn't really matter. Okay, and then here's some interesting part that will be actually quite useful. of that over there. And this we use that for, and this we can use this for. And this resets that every time. Yeah, so this is the reset for spam protection. Since it's definitely not detected that it's on the first floor, it won't affect anything. Okay, so we go down, go up. I don't see anything that I've missed. Okay, so we go up one ladder. That, all of this stuff. Just so you know, this will only work in Java edition. Sorry if it's a little late, I'll put it in the title. Here's the secondary activator. I think over time, if you have all the droppers facing up, you can put items in the bottom and they'll eventually be in the top. It's pretty fun. But I'm pretty sure if you have it all in sync, you can make a system that actually silences the droppers, because if you have an item in here, if you have an item in every single dropper no matter what, it will actually silence it. So if we press this button right here, oh, well that powered every other dropper around it, so if we put an item back in here, and we power the droppers singly, it doesn't make any noise, because it just puts the block in here. Quite useful, actually. I might try to use that concept in a future design, but definitely not right now. Okay, so I guess I will start on this pattern for how this whole system works. So every few blocks you go up one and then you go out, and you have to connect it. So as you can see how this system works, is you go up and you're able to chain this, and then it alternates that from having a torch on the side to that to connecting to the torch, and it should break every single block. And then yeah, eventually you're doing a giant loop-de-loop, which probably doesn't matter, and you could just do that and remove these beaters. But to stick to the idea and simplicity of it, just use that. Yes, it adds delay, but I don't really care right now. In general. Something I forgot. Sorry about that. So, yeah, basically this connects, and then it goes up. Everything like that. Sorry about that again. Now I have to stitch together videos because my brother just walked in. He's very loud sometimes, so it's very hard to find a quiet time. But basically, all the system will be done. Oh yeah, almost forgot for this pattern. You want this to go down, so you got this. I actually did that very fancy style, you know. Wait, did I just break the ones that are supposed to be on? Probably. I probably did, but yeah. Cool. So now that all that's done up there. Awesome. Okay. So double checking. Looking over here. Okay, cool, perfect. So next, the final layer. And after that, layer, you basically just repeat it. Yeah, you should be able to repeat the layer on top of the other layer, and it should be a cycle that can continue for a very long time. If anyone wants to mod it, it's very simple to mod it. You probably would have to know a lot about redstone, but you can add floors by just expanding this. But you would need a very separate system if you wanted to add more than 15 floors. And I've only done it once, I believe. No, I haven't. Never mind. But I actually... No, I have done it once. That's right. I made a binary counter and was able to count 1 through 32. I only made 16 floors technically, but I could have made 32, but I was a little lazy. But then again, I'm playing Minecraft, so let's be honest, I did not mean to do that. Oh well. Probably wouldn't matter. Doesn't matter. Total. I don't know why that's a terracotta block, but whatever, we'll go with it. And since this is technically the second floor, we got this. We can put an arrow or redstone, whatever, redstone torch, whatever you want to put it, and then you line it. And this is optional. You don't have to have a lamp. If you have one, it just indicates which floor it's on, which is easy for testing and useful there. That button's there for the door, that, those, this, that, that, nope, not that. Yeah, I already did that. Got this. This is supposed to be a double piston extender. It should not be, it should be fast enough to open the door. And then go over here. Next we do this. And that. And then we should get three of those. Okay. Testing. Mainly looking for blocks that I can't see before and after. That will be fixed in a second. And yeah. So that should be the last floor, or last floor part that you can probably stitch together the parts and understand how to put it back all the way up. And then there will be around 1 or 2 more things that I will explain right after this layer. Those don't actually matter. Those don't have to do a specific thing. Okay. These, so that's part of the double piston extender. I just pushed over. It doesn't really matter. You can push it back. These glass will get pushed over by the second door part. We got that, those, that. Yeah, you really only have to build this in layers because it's easier that way. It's easiest that way. And then basically like that. Oh, and I just realized a thing I do have to show you guys in order to build it. But it is kind of difficult to explain, so I will only show it to you. But I won't try to build it because it won't ever be the same every single time. It will never be the same every time. most of the time. Like, there are some times, but most of the time it shouldn't be the same every time. Okay, so you already see where this pattern's coming from. This is from below, this one's from right here. Okay, so almost here. That's required, or else it will break the system. And we got that. Then here is our piston, and the piston will have a little system that will have that repeater. It turns on the double piston extender. So if we lower those, and then we can actually power this once, and then whenever it detects that it's on this floor, which means that if we call it to the first floor, I believe, let me check and see if all of the parts are here. That shouldn't matter, but we'll do that anyways. Yeah, this should be your initial test. Call it to the same floor that it's on. No matter what, call it to floor 1. And if it opens the doors, then you did something right. And if it doesn't open the doors, then you did not do something right. And it's doing nothing, which worries me. But it's probably just a simple mistake that I made. As you can see right here, it is a simple mistake I made. Or is it? No, it's not. It is not a simple mistake. Oh right, it is a simple mistake. Never mind. We have to get in. So on the floor, first floor, it will call the floor. So you have two sides, and that's why you have a toggle. So that's why this is right here. This will call it to the first floor by putting this here. We have a block, and then we get this item frame, call it to the first floor. So yeah, we get this, and then this is another repeatable pattern that will be able to go all the way up. Okay, so yeah, we have that, and we can put a dust and a block right here. And using that right there, that should power this, and if you put a dust there, it should go all the way down. So if we call this, it should do the full system, and it will detect that this is on this floor, and then eventually send those signals. You can hear pulsing, and it is done. Yeah, that is the first floor, basically complete. You should be able to copy and paste this all the way up, and then just change the variables that I have shared. So we go over here, and then there is no initial pattern to it, but you should be able to alternate the blocks that you use. Yeah, actually, it is kind of a pattern. So I recommend using honey blocks because they don't stick to the other ones, and you just got the same thing where it goes up or down every floor. So you know, yeah, it actually goes up every floor. So go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and since they're grouped together, yeah. So basically you get this one when you're right there, and then you go up 4 blocks and over to the side, and then right underneath you double extend. I didn't mean to call it to that floor, but it should technically go to that floor. Right underneath your double extender right here, you should have your thing, and it should be every other. So the next double extender that we have, which would be right here somewhere in there. I don't actually think it would be there. It would be there or somewhere else, because those are in the same position. Those are there. that's there. Yeah, so we ignore this first one, then we go under, and then it's the top. So, yeah. And it should just connect whenever you're doing it like that, just like that, and then you would have, for example, don't actually do this in the video. Do that, and then you would have that, and then your thing would be up here, perfectly underneath your double extender. Actually right here, and then your double extender would be right here. Okay, cool. Now we're basically done. Okay, so, I mean, if you want to play around with this or test a little more, just remember how to build the machine part, where as if you send it off to 480, you just sent it to be a rocket ship, where it will actually send oh, right. That's a very important part. You want to put the things on top or else it'll drag it with it. You know? Kind of important. Alright, reset that manually. It's on the floor, and reset that. Pretty awesome. Okay, yeah. Thanks for watching. Leave a like, subscribe. This took a lot of effort to put together. Have a good day.